As promised, we're going to take a look at all things political now, and it's been a busy time since we last heard from our political scientist at Augusta University, Dr. Craig Albert. Dr. Albert is the graduate director of intelligence and security studies at AU, and I appreciate you being here today and for bringing us up to speed on everything.
Always a pleasure.
Okay, so let's look at the two big things that have happened since our last time together. That is the two court appearances, if you will, by former members of President Trump's inner circle. You have Paul Manafort, who ran his campaign at one time, convicted on 8 counts of mostly financial fraud, tax fraud, and the like. Michael Cohen, his former lawyer, pleaded guilty to campaign finance violations. What does this mean for the president going forward, in your opinion?
Unless they show that he colluded with them or he had information of this, which I don't think they will, I don't think it's going to mean anything for President Trump. I think it came out early enough, so it's not going to affect the midterm elections that much, unless somebody is going to give some information on the president. But I doubt that happens, because usually if you're a campaign, you keep anything that could come back to the person running for president away from them. So you want to keep them clean. So I don't think just because some of his folks got indicted and convicted that necessarily means he knew anything about it.
Well, what about the admission that payments were made to women to stay silent who allegedly had affairs with Donald Trump, not President Trump? What about those payments? Could they be construed as some sort of interference with the election?
That's a technically very difficult question to answer.
Yeah.
From what I understand, it's not illegal if President Trump paid hush money, if candidate Trump paid hush money, if it was paid from outside the campaign finances. So it's not illegal to bribe somebody, as they say. It's not really a bribe. They agree it's a contract that you sign, like a non-disclosure kind of. So that is perfectly legal, unless the funds were covered by the campaign for Trump to win the election. Then there's some campaign finance laws violations that has, and that could be something drastic for the president if that's true. Nobody has said that's what's happened. They're still investigating that, but that could cause some problems.
Robert Mueller's investigation appears to be growing tentacles by the day. It no longer appears to be just this probe to look into potential Russian involvement in our election a couple of years ago. Is this never ending? If so, when do you think it is over?
It depends on how much he finds. So although his investigation was supposed to be investigating possible collusion with Russia and what happened with Russia, anything you find within that duration of that is you can prosecute it if you think it's reasonable. So as he keeps going, as the investigation keeps developing, if he finds more and more, it's within his mission to prosecute all of that.
Dr. Albert, is it likely that Robert Mueller is holding something back and will spring it on President Trump at a certain time? Historically, do you think that those kind of surprises happen?
We always have October surprises,
right,
or something like that. I think that would be highly unethical if that's what Mueller was doing. If he is holding something back, he's building a case against the president right now, and that would be the only way. And from what I understand about people that say what his characteristics are and his personality, that might be true. He's an ethical man. He's not going to just do that to influence elections one way or another, but he's working to build a case.
It sounds like you don't think the president should fire him.
That would be a terrible decision by the president. Absolutely not.
Another big development that's happened since we last met, or either it happened right about the time we last met, the nomination of Supreme Court potential Justice Brett Kavanaugh. Will he be confirmed? I thought the goal was to get that done before November.
And it seems like even as this week, the Democrats are trying to push that, which nobody can complain about because, of course, the Republicans did that before the election, so they're playing tit for tat now. So I don't think that he will get confirmed or even have a hearing before the midterm elections if the Democrats get their way, which means, depending on how the Senate goes for that he might not get confirmed whatsoever.
So you think it could be in jeopardy? It's not a done deal.
It could be.
Let's look at the midterm elections. Do you think that the Democrats will gain the majority in either the House or Senate or both?
So we know I'm 100% on my predictions on this show.
I know you are.
So I think that the Democrats will win some seats in the House. I don't think we can expect a blue wave, as a lot of other folks say we will. I think the Republicans might win some seats in the Senate, though. So I think the Republicans maybe gain a seat or two in the Senate. Democrats gain a few seats in the House, but I don't know if they'll win a majority of the House. If they do win a majority in the House, wow, it's going to be a fun time to be a political scientist.
It is. Well, if they do win a majority in the House, will anything get done in the next 2 years?
An impeachment trial.
You think that will happen?
Absolutely.
All right, so if the Democrats win, Trump gets impeached, it'll play out much like the Bill Clinton thing did?
Precisely. He won't get removed from office because you'll never get 2/3 of the Senate to remove a president from office. Impeachment just means the House says that you are guilty of articles of impeachment that they file against you. The Senate is actually in charge of removing you. Impeachment is what most people think is the removal of office. That's not, right. The removal has never happened to a president before, and I don't think it would happen. But I think that's the plan by the Democrats is to file articles of impeachment in the House if they get the majority.
If they do get the majority, how quickly could they file those articles?
As soon as the session starts in January.
Is Trump's second term dead then?
Absolutely.
It's over.
Absolutely.
You're not going to get impeached and win re-election.
Absolutely. Not as a Republican in this environment with Trump, his personality being the way it is. Too many people are anti his personality, even within the Republican Party, even if they like his policies, they're anti how he carries himself.
Do you like these state races that we're all watching, and I guess the question is not do you like them, do you think that they're a good indicator of how things will go on the national scene? We'll focus on Georgia's governor's race. Who do you like in that one, and might that be a barometer for how the nation might go?
I think so. This is interesting. 2 years ago, everybody thought Georgia was going to be this purple state, but it didn't quite play out that way. Republicans won, handedly over the Democrats by, I think, 6 points, which is pretty large. I think we're much closer this time, and Abrams, the Democrat, has an amazing ground campaign, something that we haven't seen before from a Democratic candidate for governor in the state of Georgia in a couple of decades. Saying that, Georgia is traditionally a highly red state, so you would have to be everything has to work perfectly for Abrams to defeat Kemp. I think that can happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think you'll see Kemp be governor of the state of Georgia.
Let's go back to national politics and international for that matter. I haven't heard a whole lot about North Korea. We probably spent half of one of our segments talking about that in the wake of the summit. Where do things stand with these two countries? Is it good that we're not hearing anything?
It's a stalemate. We're accusing them of not living up to their expectations, so we actually just canceled a meeting between Pompeo and the North Koreans this week, and they're accusing us of the same thing, that we're not living up, we're not giving them anything, we're not rewarding them for their good faith efforts that they've done so far. So it's this stalemate, and they're sending angry letters to one another, and that's not necessarily a good sign.
Where do you see that going forward? Is it back to how we used to be before they had that big meeting?
Not quite, because we still establish some kind of trust building between one another, so we know each other. There's open communications now, so it's just going to take a long process. Unless something cataclysmic happens in the meantime, something with China and the South China Sea or something that forces us to up our military posture over there, I think no news is good news with North Korea.
What about Iran and our relationship with that country? It seemed a couple of weeks ago that maybe down the road we would have talks with them.
I think the president has asked for talks several times, and they keep turning it down. I think why they are turning it down is to try to get some relief for the sanctions put in place for the nuclear deal that Trump pulled out of. So there's no telling what that relationship is going to yield, how it's going to turn out. Most of the other parties in that relationship are staying true, trying to help Iran out, and the president is dissatisfied with that.
Talk about pulling out of things. President Trump hates NAFTA, and so he's trying to replace it with this new deal with Mexico that is in the preliminary stages now. Your thoughts on replacing NAFTA with something else? And does Canada need to be a part of this?
I think Canada needs to be a part of it for it to really work and really live up to what Trump says it can do. I think renegotiating that and revisiting it is great. It can help Americans out, it can help Mexicans out, and if the Canadians get back involved, it can help them out. So a renegotiation of a treaty doesn't have to be, oh, this is news, this is terrible. No, it could be good for all parties involved, and they can all get a little bit more and bring that back to their political basis, saying, hey, I did this and we won, even if it's a little more even killed than that.
Through all of this controversy and all of this tumultuousness that we cover each day, the economy seems to be doing fine. Is it? I see the stocks each night. They seem to be doing well. How's that possible with so much craziness going on in the world?
Almost all aspects of the economy are perfect. We're still not increasing how much money people make, how much money people, average working folks are putting in their pockets. Trump is trying, he says he's trying to work on that. So the economy is, an 8 to 10 year process. It takes that long to really see any benefits. So President Obama started a trend of helping the economy. It's raised itself, I think, 40% since Trump took office, which is phenomenal. So I think the Trump administration will run on this aspect that the economy is doing unbelievably well.
I have less than a minute left. I can't let you go without asking you about your new classes now as the semester is underway. The cyber minds of the future are with you now.
That's right. Our new program, Intelligence and Security Studies, we talk about strategic cybersecurity and how nation states actually go to war with each other using cyber as a method of warfare. So we have technical and tactical cyber warriors in the class learning the strategic aspects of it. So Augusta is the place to be right now for everything cyber.
All right, so you've seen these kids, young adults, for a few weeks now. Is our future in good hands?
Oh, it makes me so happy. It makes me so happy to be able to teach them. They teach me things. They teach me some of the technical and tactical sides of it. It's amazing to put the practical knowledge to what I teach, which is more theoretical or geopolitical. So it's amazing. It's a perfect blend right now.
Got some great minds at Augusta University being led by Dr. Craig Albert and others there. Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.